As humans, we have a great capacity for empathy and curiosity. However, sometimes we shut down these processes for people we think aren't like us. In this video, I'd like to share some tips that I give my students studying abroad about how to foster empathy and curiosity. As you watch, I hope you'll think about the term culture in a broad sense, meaning anyone who doesn't share the same beliefs as you, or anyone who doesn't experience life the same way as you because of systemic inequities. So first of all, what is empathy? How does it differ from sympathy, for example? Empathy is feeling with people, while sympathy is feeling for people. Empathy is the act of connecting with something that someone else is feeling, connecting with their perspective. It is, as we say, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Sympathy is looking separately at someone, looking down at them, or judging or analyzing what they're experiencing. Empathy sees things as they are and tries to connect with that. Empathy makes you vulnerable because it puts you in a position of recognizing what someone else is feeling and trying to tap into an experience where you can understand and feel that yourself. So to demonstrate the difference between the two, let's think about different ways that you might react to someone who says they're suffering from depression. A sympathetic reaction might be, "Oh, that's too bad," or even, "Why are you feeling that way? You have so much going for you. You shouldn't be so down." An empathetic response requires you to imagine feeling hopeless, confused, scared even, and saying, "I'm here with you. I understand how you're feeling." Empathy is undoubtedly something you already do, something you recognize and understand. So how does it differ in a cross-cultural setting? How does it differ when you're interacting with someone who is culturally different than you? What makes cultural empathy different is that you need to work to understand a different and unfamiliar way of looking at things and connect with it, especially when, and this is the very difficult, very vulnerable part, it means seeing that you yourself have done something strange in their eyes. This can be easy to do if it doesn't threaten you or your values, but it can be very hard to do if it elicits a kind of cognitive dissonance. In other words, that uncomfortable feeling of reconciling what you know to be true about yourself, that you're kind, smart, polite, and what others see of you in the situation. When things like this occur, it threatens your values, your norms, and your sense of identity, and that's definitely unsettling. You may feel a tremendous amount of anxiety or stress because the way that you see things, including yourself and your intentions, don't align with how someone else does. It's upsetting and strange, and can be easily influenced by your own perspectives and biases. It can be easy to say, "Well, that's not what I meant, so they shouldn't take it that way." But the point of empathy is to recognize that that is how they're feeling, interpreting, or reacting to something, and to not judge it. True cultural empathy is more than just cultural awareness or cultural sensitivity. Those are more like sympathy, where you just see something, but you're not affected by it. Cultural empathy is being affected by, being changed by another perspective, actively seeking to connect with another, of truly wanting to see another perspective. Curiosity is about seeking to understand, not just to observe. Curiosity comes from a place of humility, a desire to learn, which comes from a desire to change either your mind or your habits or both. So often we don't know what we don't know. We don't even realize what it is that we have to learn about the other. We feel confident in our current knowledge and our assumptions. We assume we know and understand without realizing that we have something to learn. There are times, however, that we do realize we have something new to learn, and that can feel threatening. It means admitting ignorance or showing some lack or deficiency. It can even mean having our own foundations, values, and ideals challenged. But being uncomfortable can lead to the most profound growth and learning. Being uncomfortable means different things to different people. It can simply mean having the courage to ask questions, or having the courage to do something that feels awkward. It might mean listening without making a prejudgment or forming your answer. To be curious, you must give people dignity and worth. You must be open to connecting. You may wonder about how to be curious in situations where it might feel intrusive to ask questions. My advice is to start with good intentions. Be humble, be open. Use open-ended questions. You might ask things like, "I'm wondering about," or "Could you tell me about?" This allows the person you're talking to steer the conversation in the direction they'd like to go. I hope this gives you some new insights on curiosity and empathy. I believe we can make a difference if we listen to one another and work together.